Well, a beautiful Tuesday morning to you all. I'm over here in the tunnel, my 17-year-old polytunnel, which is still amazingly intact. Lots of reasons for that, and they're all practical. When I first erected the polytunnel here, well, my friend Michael O'Toole erected the tunnel for me, and of course I helped and his family helped. We all helped on the day. But there was no shelter belt. None of this was planted. In fact, there are a few photographs which I've put up on Facebook that shows the tunnel sort of gleaming in the sunlight on its own in the middle of a field that had been mowed. Because of course one of the first things that I did, and I kept up for years at the beginning of the Bealtaine project, was to keep those rushes mowed. So that was about 5 or 6 hours work a week. I mean, it was back-breaking, but hey, my back wasn't broken. I'm still here, and I'm probably all the healthier for it. I used the tunnel for various things over the years. So it's gone through a whole series of incarnations. In the early days, it was here as a place to grow seeds, to sow seeds and grow seeds. It was a potting shed. It was everything, because there were no other buildings at Bealtaine other than the cottage itself. There were no outbuildings, no sheds, no barns, nothing like that. So the tunnel was used for all kinds of stuff, you know, for storage, for growing. Heaps and heaps of vegetables were grown in here, and I could go right through the whole series of incarnations via photographs, because of course I've taken lots of photographs, and there are over 20,000 photographs up on the Bealtaine Cottage website, which by the way has no advertising. There's no advertisements to detract from what it is you want to research or look at. Okay, so if you pop over to bealtainecottage.com, you will see the various incarnations of this tunnel. This year, it's being used, as you can see, as a place to sit, a place where herbs and flowers are growing, and trees. A little sanctuary for birds. Quite a few birds come in here. In fact, there was a family of wrens raised in here last year. There are a few toads and frogs living in here. But generally, it's just a lovely place to come and sit with tea or coffee and enjoy the day that's in it. And I'll just go in here and sit down here and show you the view. There we go. So it's a place of sanctuary, a place of retreat, where one can practice mindfulness and just to sit and listen. Let the sounds of nature fill your heart and soul. Quite a few bees come in here on rainy days. I often hear them. Little pots of magic spring up in here. I've got little pots here with trees growing in them. It's a place for seedlings. Look over there at the base of those stones. Lots of little plants coming up. just a wonderful spot. So, just going to walk over to the cottage because I want to show you some of the plants that are flowering, because it's really difficult trying to keep up with all the changes. Look, I'm just stood here by this young apple tree and you can see what's happening here. Lots and lots of buds and the promise of blossom. This is a much older apple tree. This is about 16 years old or so. And again, lots of buds happening there. Look at this. Look at the life bursting out. It happens in such quick succession that you could almost miss it if you were away for 2 or 3 days. You'd come back to an almost foreign-looking landscape because everything would have been changed so dramatically. I want to show you the tulips that are now opening up. But again, I'm having to stop and take in everything that's happening. Incredible. Just the past week has made such a difference. And of course I've been working. There we go, I've potted up another one of my little trees. Oh, there goes the boy. So, my little bits of topiary. There's one that I made earlier. It's in a bigger pot now. This one has just come out of a smaller pot into a middle-sized one. And the muscari, look at that. And I think it's time to pick some kale. And certainly go about dividing up some of these beautiful primulas. That little bed round the tyres is certainly making a difference. And the euphorbia is just popping. Look at this, and it's been spilling out of that half barrel that the fig tree is growing in. Spilling out of that and out onto the beds. But look at what's coming up in the gravel. See, this new gravel that I've put down is so light in colour that it's catching and reflecting the heat and the light. So all this beautiful aducans is coming up. There we go. There's the tulips about to open. And that's one of those little trees which I'm going to do a bit of topiary on. See, it's in quite a small pot. So I've just been growing it on there. I think it's time for a little shaping. So I've been potting up the geraniums. and giving them a feed. And there's the other tulips. The rhododendron is still in bloom. That seems to carry on for weeks and weeks. And if ever there was a plant that just loves to occupy space, it's the London Pride. So there's going to be an incredible burst of colour on that very soon. So I moved this pot from the front where the I'm trying to remember if that's actually a cordyline. I mean, it's not the same colour or shape to its leaves, but it is a form of cordyline, I think. But it was getting a little bit bashed around the front of the cottage because the winds were coming in quite strongly there at one point. So I thought it was time to move that, as I had already moved the Pieris to its new bed. There's no bottom in that old milk churn, so the roots will be able to spread there with ease. I'll just take you around to the side where we started off our video yesterday. And this is the back of the she shed, and you can see I've done lots of planting in along that bank. So I've got forsythia, cotoneaster, little birch tree, and I just put lots and lots of cuttings and all kinds of things straight onto that bank because it's become a little bit like a compost heap. And as all that rots down, it feeds these plants, you see. So it's gone from a point of zero fertility, or almost zero fertility, to a growing fertility. Just look back this way. And say have a lovely day to everybody. As usual, I've gone over my 10 minutes. So blessings to you all. Have a lovely day.